So at 9:30 this morning, a group is coming together at Toronto City Hall. 3 city councillors are banding together. I'd imagine others are going to be there as well. But they are James Pasternak, Brad Bradford, and Mike Cole. But this is being called the Interfaith Summit on Antisemitism and Hate. One of the people who is going to be speaking is a man who's with an organization called Allies for a Strong Canada, Michael Westcott, who joins us right now. Good morning.
Good morning, John. Thank you for having me.
Can you first tell us a quick bit about who Allies for a Strong Canada is?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Michael Westcott, and Allies for a Strong Canada is an organization that brings together allies of the Jewish community to stand up against this disgusting rise in anti-Semitism that we've all seen over the last year, and helps Canadians from across the country who want to do something about it. It's specifically designed for people who aren't Jewish, but who see what's going on and say, this is terrible, but I don't know what to do, and I want to do something about it. So anybody who's interested in getting involved in this, anybody who sees what's going on and wants to do something about it, come over to theallies.ca, and you can learn more about how you can get involved.
What's your message going to be today?
Look, I think that the biggest thing that people need to understand is for more than a year now, we have heard institutional elected leaders say to us over and over again, hate has no place here. But whether it is arsons or assaults or schools being shot at or violent protests, the evidence is right here in front of us. And this letter from Mr. Percy is just the latest piece of evidence. I commend the CEO of the TTC for stepping up and saying publicly what a lot of people have been seeing. This problem has gotten incredibly bad, and it really goes back to a larger issue, which is an erosion of the values that make Canada and make Toronto a great place to live. The fact that there are families in our city right now who are saying, I don't feel safe here anymore. I don't feel like the law can protect me. And I think I need to get my family out of here. At some point, every single one of our families looked at Canada and said, yeah, that looks like a good place. That looks like a safe place. That looks like a place that I can raise a family in safety and prosperity. And in 2024, there are families that are now saying, I got to get out of here. One of the reasons that I started this organization was one of my very good friends a couple of years ago looked around at what was happening and said, I can't do this anymore. And he left. He and his wife left, and they're now raising their daughter somewhere else. And it breaks my heart every single time I speak to one of these families that just feels so scared. There are parents who wake up before the dawn every day to get on WhatsApp groups to see about what's happened because they don't know if they're safe dropping their kid off at school in the morning. I can't imagine people living like that. And I can't imagine people living like that for more than a year now.
So this business of graffiti on the TTC and anti-Semitic graffiti, as the head of the TTC is saying, I mean, it's a means of promoting fear and hatred and anxiety, and it almost hangs over this city like a cloud.
It does. It is making people feel terror to make them feel unwelcome and unsafe. And until we start to talk about it in those terms, it was so disappointing to see the police chief in Montreal say, well, yeah, I mean, we arrested a few people and we'll arrest a few more. But, the consequence of some vandalism is usually justifying. That mentality has to end. What is happening right now in our city is that people are intentionally going out and they're doing bad things to harass and scare and intimidate people. That's not okay. And until our leaders hear from us clearly that this isn't just a problem for the Jewish community, this is a Canadian problem. This is a problem that we all have a stake in and that we all need to do something about. What are we going to get? We're going to, a bad thing is going to happen. A school is going to get shot at, and a bunch of people are going to show up and they're going to say, hate has no place here. And then it'll be on to the next story. Every single person that's listening to this right now has unbelievable influence in this situation. If everybody picked up their phone right now and called the mayor's office, the number's 397-2489, and said, I heard about this today on the radio and I am absolutely disgusted. You have to do something about this right now. We would see a sea change in the way that mayor and council are responding to these problems. And we need it. Ottawa, Vaughan, and Brampton have all moved with specific action around protests at places like schools. I mean, it seems like such an obvious thing. Don't have a protest outside of a school. But for some reason, Toronto hasn't been able to do that. We've got one more council meeting left this year. It would be great to see some action on this before the year is out. It would certainly send a message to the families that are absolutely terrified right now.
Thanks for this. Good luck this morning.